Welcome to Transformation with Martine. Conquer everything and compromise nothing. This show brings you real, raw, and vulnerable conversations. If you have never liked small talk and have been on a personal growth journey for a long time, stay tuned as Martine and her guests share empowering stories. Now is the time to own your past and look toward your future with hope. Believe in your dreams, and all that you want to achieve is possible. Transformation Coach Martine helps you accept and love you for you. It's time to listen to your heart and tap into your unlimited potential. You have the answers you need inside. Sometimes you just need the right guide to help allow transformation to happen. Transformation with Martine starts now.
Welcome everyone to Transformation with Martine. This is where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. Happy Friday. It's an awesome day. I've got a very snow-covered view out there, and it's cold, but I'm blessed to be an entrepreneur and working at home. And yeah, it's just, Fridays are a blessed day regardless. Without further ado, I want to welcome my guest today. We are having a bit of a tech challenge here, so you're going to see flashes of her just woo, but it's just making her shine even brighter. Welcome, Jennifer Rose Reed.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So happy to have you, even if it is a flash.
Right.
You're looking great anyway, regardless.
Thank you.
So yeah, absolutely. So Jennifer, like I said in my tagline, we're about, conquer everything, compromise nothing. I know that you have all kinds of stories. We've known each other for a little bit. Would you like to share a story with us?
Sure. I would share my story, how I got into transformational coaching.
Yes.
During the pandemic, I was sitting home, like, what's going on? I just went through a breakup, and it was like, I got to the end of the road, and I was like, there's got to be more. Like, I feel like I'm a common denominator, so I need to work on me. Like, what does that look like?
Right.
So I started following people that inspired me, like Lisa Nichols and Les Brown and Trent Shelton and a ton of other people. I started watching their videos, and I just got so convicted. I'm like, I can do that too. Like, what does that look like for me?
Yes.
So during the pandemic, Lisa Nichols had this event going on, and she would go live like every Saturday at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And I was just so, like, she just lit me up. It was something like in my belly was like, oh my God, I need more of that. Like, how do I hook up a booster her train, as she loves to say. So she had an event. I signed up for it. It was like maybe like a couple $100. I signed up for that. I got into that. And then it just, during that event, like, something happened in my life. Transformation is what happened. And I'm like, how can I do that for somebody else? So Coach Sean was there as well. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna see, can I get in one of his programs? So I end up getting, like, after, and I took part of Elevate. Elevate is an amazing personal development program as well. I learned so much about myself, and I just kept wanting more. So then I joined Sean's campus, ECC, and then I did ECCP. So I'm a certified transformational results coach, and my life has never been the same. So I wanted to be able to help other people, because that was what I didn't know I needed, and my life has never been the same. And I chose to invest in myself. I didn't talk to anybody about that, because people in my family, people that I knew, they didn't know anything about that, and that didn't make sense to them. So I took it upon myself to make an investment in myself, not even telling anybody about it, because they didn't understand it. And then I got into a community with a bunch of other people who understand it. And now, I got an accountability tribe. We meet every Monday, and we encourage one another. We cheerlead one another. We celebrate one another. And that's what it's all about. Lisa Nichols says, what gets celebrated gets repeated. And that was weird for me at first, because I didn't see people celebrating themselves. It's like, you bragging on yourself. And it just wasn't normal for me. But when I got in that community, I do it all the time, and I love to celebrate other people, and I love to be celebrated, because what gets celebrated actually does get repeated. So, yeah.
does. It does. Oh yes. Well, I resonate with all of that. A little bit in reverse. I started with Sean and then with Lisa. And then, I stay in both communities because they both are amazing. And when you put the two of them together, even more amazing, right? Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I really like I get that. It's like once we get in this world of personal development, we start working with others, we keep wanting more,
Oh, yes.
and it just kind of exudes out of us, right? It's like we want
Mhm.
to touch as many lives as we can. So after you did and like she mentioned, Elevate Extraordinaire, and then programs of ECC, BCC, these are training programs with both Lisa Nichols and Sean Smith, for those of you that possibly don't know them, which I don't know who doesn't in this world now of transformation. Um, but these are both, dynamic programs that really get you out of your comfort zone and make you work on yourself, and then make you want to just be around others and to help them up level their lives as well. So after you went through Extraordinaire and then through Sean's programs as well, what was like your next step? Like what were you being led to? Who do you want to work with? Who are you, yeah, who are you trying to, who was calling to you? Who is God
Okay,
placing in
so
your life?
basically, if I could sum it up, it's the younger version of me. So it's ladies
Yep.
who struggle with loving themselves, ladies who struggle with
Hmm.
respecting themselves, ladies who have
Hmm.
father issues where your father wasn't in your life, and
Hmm.
you've been making terrible decisions, and you feel like there's no other choices out there. There are, because it's me here. I
Yeah.
turned my life around by getting the help that I didn't even know I needed, and I was able to forgive him, because that was a part of the journey. That total
Mhm.
forgiveness letter, I was able to write several letters to him.
Yep.
I didn't have to give it to him, but I did. I also included it in my book. So I do have a book outside.
Excellent.
During the pandemic, I became an author, I became an entrepreneur, and an amazing woman of God, and a teacher also. So I was able to forgive him, and then once I forgave him, I really felt like my blessings like started flooding in, because that was
Hmm.
holding me back, and I didn't even know it was holding me back. During one of the coaching demos, Michelle took me on this journey, and I went back to my little girl, and I was able to reframe and create a new belief and set her free.
Hmm.
So I want to be that and do that for other young ladies. So I coach women on how to um, unclutter, and I coach them on a journey of self-love.
Hmm.
That's all it's about. It's about loving you. And if you love you so much, you'll exude that and you'll draw that in. I
Yeah.
didn't love myself. I didn't respect myself. So that's what I was drawing in. And all my relationships were toxic. And the most toxic relationship I was in was with myself. So
Right.
once I rescued me, I was able to rescue other people. But I first had to
Hmm.
save me.
That's right. And that's something, I don't know about you, but some of the issues that you're talking about were the same for me. And I just thought, well, if I could just find somebody that loves me, maybe then I can love me. And I didn't realize that I really had to be working on me and loving me and accepting myself for who I am before I
Mm.
could find that love in my life. And that's definitely because I was just looking for love in all the wrong places for sure, until I realized that, yeah, I got to work on this first
Mm-hmm.
before I
Yeah,
could call it
that's so
in.
my story. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, because you even think about Lisa Nichols, right? She talks about it. She didn't find love till in her 50s. She wasn't
Right,
ready for that kind of love.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. So the pandemic happened to be a really good time for you.
Really, it really was. It was the best thing ever that happened for me. It
Hmm.
didn't happen to me, it happened for me.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So you were able to take that time and really focus on yourself. Yeah.
Right. I needed that.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break in about a minute, but tell us about your book and how that, I know it came about while, during the pandemic, but like what sparked you to start writing? And then tell us your book.
I read somebody else's book and I was like, man, I want to do that. I got a story to share. So
Hmm.
I connected with an editor because I needed help with that. And it's called The Day I Found Myself, because in that
Nice.
breakup, in those relationships, I was searching for myself in other people, and I couldn't find myself in other people. So
Mm-hmm.
me, the relationship ending was redirection to me. And that's really, it's just a little snippet of how my life changed in like a matter of a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
that's what the book is about. It's I have so many books in me, but that was just the start. I wanted to get it out of my belly. And that was hard, reliving those times as a child and, sharing that
Yeah.
stuff. It was hard, but I know that somebody else needed it. It wasn't just for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's the thing. And I think that's something like, both Sean and Lisa talk about that, you know, um, sometimes we don't want to share our story. It's scary, it's hurtful, it's hard, but our story isn't just for us, really. It's for others. It's to help others share their story. So I think once we realize that, at least that's what sunk in for me. It's like, oh no, wait a minute, why would I hold on to this when I can actually be serving someone else? Maybe someone else won't feel as small as I did for as long as I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So we're going to take a break, everyone. And where your book again, the name again, I'm sorry.
The day I found myself.
The Day I Found Myself. Where can people find it?
Amazon.
Amazon, the awesome Amazon. You can find her
We
book on
love Amazon.
Amazon. Okay, we'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. My guest today is Jennifer Rose Reed, and we have been talking about, well, the blessings of COVID and having time to dive into personal development and turning a time of, well, solitude and not being able to get out in person connections, but connecting with communities online and learning and growing and changing ourselves from within. So Jennifer, you kept talking about not what everyone understands. I get that too. There are, even my dad, even to this day, and I've reached a certain level of success, and he'll often still say things like, I don't understand what you do, and good thing your husband has a good job. I often get stuff like that, and it's like, well, whoa, okay. Okay. He's not someone who I can share a whole lot with, but I do have friends and I do have family that understands and wants to understand. But how was that for you, just finding a community that you could just be absolutely excited about and share your joys, the hard times and the celebrations?
Well, I knew that certain people, I knew I couldn't talk to them. So I stopped going to them. I could talk to my
Yeah.
sister because she knew about it. My brother, he knew about it. When it comes to my mom, I know that she didn't understand that. And I know
Yeah.
that I can have that conversation with her. So
Mhm.
it's very important when you're on this journey of personal development and personal growth. You want to connect with other like-minded people.
Mhm.
So being a part of these different communities, reach out to one another. Hey, you want to get an accountability group, or can you be my accountability
Mhm.
partner, or my
Yep.
mastermind group, or you want to be in those groups because the conversation is different. People
Yeah.
actually understand what you're saying. So it's very important to get around people that are headed where you want to be, right?
Mhm.
And you all got something in common, because when you don't, it's like, you did what? You invested what? How much money? And I'm just like, I got to the point. I stopped sharing that stuff with them because I
Yep.
knew they couldn't understand. And I didn't want them to
Yeah.
make me, start second guessing. Well, should I do that or should I do that? No, I saw what was happening inside of me and I
Yeah.
wanted more of that. And I'm a great investment. So I will continue to invest in myself. And they don't
That's
have to
right.
know
You
about it
are.
or like it.
Yep. Yep. And that's it right there. It's like realizing, and I know I think that I might have been slower than you in accepting the fact that, you know what, I am worth the investment. It took me a while to really not just be thinking about, oh shoot, should I, okay, I don't have the cash, should I charge this? Is it and like kind of playing that scenario, can I actually do this? And then thinking, I have to do this. This is something I know I have to do. I feel it in every part of my being. And we are worth it. We do things for our children. We invest in so many other things. Why wouldn't we do something that helps us be better and overall, just our whole life be better?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So as you actually, can we backtrack a little bit when, COVID happened, but before that, there had to be something that was probably on your heart that you knew you wanted to make some changes. Was there anything there that you'd want to share that somebody else can maybe like, relate to that? Like, yeah, that is going on as well for me.
I just felt like I was in a cycle and nothing was changing. Like I would
Mhm.
date, for me, I was dating the same person. The only thing was changing was the name. Like it was everything was always the same. And I was like, well, I can't fix anybody else, right? I
Mhm.
thought I thought I could, but
Yeah,
that's not my job. So I said,
right.
I'm gonna work on me. Like, what does working on me look like? And so I just, I pray. Like, I want people that can help me because there's something's going on,
Mhm.
and I don't know exactly what it is. And I pray that God sends me the right people to help me be the best me that I can be. And so I
Mhm.
started seeing these examples of these amazing speakers and coaches and teachers, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to help other
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
Pain changed my life. Like people look at pain like, oh
Mhm.
my God, I don't like pain. Nobody likes pain, but if you turn that pain to profit, then that means something. I took my
No
pain
doubt.
and I turned it into a profit, right? Now
Yeah.
I get to help other people. So I think when something significant happens in your life, you can take it and lay down with it, or you can fight back and say, you know what, this is not the end. So during that breakup, for
Mhm.
me, it was like, this is not the end. I know there's love out there for me, but first I got to find it within myself. And then, I ran into this person who I was dating years and years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I was finally ready then. But before,
Yeah.
when we first dated, it was like, no, I knew I wasn't ready. He knew he wasn't ready. It didn't work out.
Mhm.
But once I done my work, and it was like, okay, I'm ready for this. I'm ready
Yeah.
for this. But I had to do my work. That's why nothing wasn't working, because I needed to do my work.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and sometimes that's a bit of a, well, I can only speak for me, but a little bit of a ego thing, like, wait a minute, it's me. I mean, it's like, you want to blame it on somebody else, or, they messed this up and God, I did my best, but let's like, I can't remember who says this, something like, you're pointing a finger at somebody, there's three back at you.
Yes, I've heard that before.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, okay. All right. I need to look at this.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. So once you got into you know, both communities and you really started doing the work and you got your certifications and everything, what was the next step? What did you do? Like how did you start living life as a newly changed person, transformed person?
So once I became a coach, I coached for free for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, okay, so I want to monetize,
Yeah.
obviously, because I made an investment in myself. So
Mm-hmm.
Sean Smith, I'm just all about Sean. He just teaches
Yeah.
me so much. So he had
Yep.
entrepreneur school for coaches, which
Yes.
I'm currently in, and
Mm-hmm.
that gives us the framework of what does this look like? How do you market this? Like, what do you need? What opt-in pages, landing pages, like what does that look like? And then
Mm-hmm.
also you're still working on yourself, because for me, my money story used to come up. So I felt uncomfortable for
Right.
me to set the price points, because it's like, oh, I have an issue with that. So I'm still, working through that stuff. But I was able to find somebody that's further ahead of me, right? He's giving me the blueprint, right? So I'm building the
Yep.
foundation, because I can't invite people to my house if I don't have a house. So
Right. There you go.
I'm building a foundation,
Love
so when
that.
they come, they have a place to sit for a while, and we can chat, and I can help them. But it's
Yeah.
still on this journey, trying to learn the business side of it, because being an entrepreneur, like, it doesn't come with instructions. You just figure it out, you
That's
know.
right. That's
So I'm
right.
just, trying to, invest it, still make those investments so I can continue to learn and continue to grow. So now I'm building my community, by sharing my videos. I share videos daily.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
share inspirational videos daily, and then I do a live video and just want to speak to my people
Mm-hmm.
and make that connection. And when they feel comfortable, then they'll sign up for a call, for a consultation, a free, consultation. We'll talk about it and see what that looks like for, our
Mhm.
next journey together.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. So, let's go back a little bit on the money story, because I know that a lot of people will relate to that, because it's huge for so many of us. And I'm not sure like what you grew up with or what you had, in your household. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked his butt off. There's no doubt about it. We didn't see him a whole lot. Um, but there was always like, well, what I remember the most, and like I said, my dad wasn't around so much, but what I always heard him say was, never had it, never will. Money.
Mm-hmm.
Never had it, never will. And when I look at him now, he is just fine. He's 86 years old. He's just fine. He has plenty for his life. My mom has passed away. And I'm not sure he feels so much that way, although sometimes I'll hear him talking just like, oh, well, no, I can't spend that. And it's like, God, Dad, you're 86. I mean, now's the time. You want to do something, you should be doing it. So I grew up with that, and I knew that that was not my belief. That's something that absolutely had to go. And Lisa Nichols talks about money burning a hole in my pocket. That definitely was part of my, like, okay, I have too much in it. What am I going to do with it? So that was something else that, like, I got to change this. I need to save money. When I save money, I feel better. I got a backup here, whatever. So what was it that you heard in your household, and how did you start changing beliefs?
What I heard in my household was money don't grow on trees.
Oh,
That's all I heard. And whenever I
Yep.
did ask for something, it was like, well, I got to pay the light bill. I got to do this and I got to do that. So I got to the point, I didn't even ask to go to my prom, because my mom always, she embedded in my head that I don't have, and it was like, oh, I just, then so now we take on their story, make it our story.
Yep.
So then I'm telling my kids, I don't have. And I was like, so when it came to, money, I was like, I need some coaching around this. I need to sign up for some courses to help me with this. Outside of, Elevate and Extraordinary, I signed up with Financial Peace University with Dave Ramsey, because I need help with my money. Like that holds you back from everything. So whatever area you lack knowledge in, invest in it. So you can change that story.
Perfect.
You got to change that story. If not, it's going to be your story. And that's not my story anymore. So unlearning.
That is beautiful right there. So whatever you lack, that's what you invest in. There's no doubt about it. I agree with that 100%. That's where you need to go. The thing that makes you the most uncomfortable, the thing that is the hardest for you in life and you can't get past, you got to get some help with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen to that, everyone. Perfect advice. So we're going to take a break again. Jennifer, where can everybody find you?
I'm on Facebook at Jennifer Reed. Also on Instagram, Jennifer Reed, or either you can do Transformational Coach J Rose. I'm on TikTok at Jennifer Rose. Also, so I'm everywhere.
Perfect, as we need to be. That is great. Okay, so everyone will be back in a few minutes, and we'll talk more transformation. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine, where we conquer everything and compromise nothing. My guest today is Jennifer Rose Reed, and we've been talking about the transformational journey of her life and COVID, and how it actually helped her to get in touch with herself and make some big changes, become an entrepreneur, and now helping other people. And on break, we were just talking a bit about single motherhood, since we both have had that experience. And I was just asking her, Jennifer, please, if you would share a bit of your story of what it was like for you, how you felt. I guess let's just start there. How did you feel as a single mom?
Oh, it was hard. It was hard being a single mother. I became a mother for the first time at age 22. I did have my own place. I was in a relationship, but that relationship, as I look back on it, it was very toxic. And so that was hard. I tried to make the relationship work, but it did not. And I ended up going back as a single mother. Trying to do it on your own is hard. So I went back home and stayed with my mom for a little bit, and then I branched out on my own again. But also while I was home with my mom, I got pregnant again. So I not only had one kid, I had two, and I had my son. And I was 28, and it was just so hard. You know, I dated people, and I know sometimes as being a parent, I wasn't always present because I was too busy trying to my goal was to be a wife. Like, I wanted to be a wife, and I was just trying to, trying to seek love in that. And my kids were like there. And sometimes I checked out. But what I realized is, they watch everything, they listen to everything. And as I look back on my life now, like, they're so amazing. My daughter is 24 and she stays in Las Vegas. She's awesome. Like, she branched out and did her thing. And my son, he's still trying to figure it out. And that's cool. He's 20 years old. So what I learned as being a parent, like, don't try to change them into what you want them to be, but let them be who they want to be. Whatever that is fine. Just love them and accept them for who they are. That is huge. Because when I was growing up, my mom would be like, people would tell me what I should do. I tried going to cosmetology school. I tried going to college to be a surgical tech. Like, I did things what people told me to do, and it was never what I wanted to do. So with my kids, I just allow them to, like, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to go to school, don't go to school. If you want to just work, then just work. If you want to be, whatever you want to be, I support you and I love you, no matter who you are, what you do.
Yeah,
because that is important.
yes,
And and I know, to all my single mothers, it can be hard, but I'm telling you, I did it. I raised two amazing young adults, and I did it. And I know you can do it too. Yes, it gets hard. Yes, it gets rough, but he'll never put more on you than you can bear. You can make it through it. Just keep on keeping on, and remember the purpose. Your kids are part of your purpose. So my purpose is to create generational wealth, so they can have something for the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. So yeah, I made mistakes, but I didn't beat myself up for it. I made some terrible choices, but I didn't beat myself up for it, nor did I held myself hostage. I forgive myself, and I show them that anything is possible. I'm also a graduate. I went back to school, right? Got my bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in admin. So I got my degree, and guess what? I'm currently in school again because I am going to be a counselor, right? I'm going to help people. I know that's my job. I know that's my purpose. A single mother can do anything he or she puts her mind to.
I agree with you 100%. I do. And one of the things that helped me, nothing I wanted actually in life from the time I graduated, before I even graduated high school. I just wanted to be a mom. I did not expect my marriage to fail, and I was devastated that it did. And I remember the kids and I supported them by myself. I took care of them, and there were times where I was just so depressed. I just didn't even want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to do anything. And I remember going to a doctor to get some medication. I got to get something. I have to get through this. I've got to be there for my children. And he's like, you have to take care of you first. And that means that if soccer practice is too much for you, or if dance class is too much for you, or whatever it is, you have to take care of yourself. The more you keep putting on yourself, the worse it's going to be for the kids. You have got to take care of yourself. And at first it didn't quite sink in. And then I'm like, I got to do this. And then when I started putting more into myself and taking breaks, I feel like I was able to just do better for them and be more present, like we talked about, be more present for my kids once I started taking some breaks. And I agree with you 100% that we can do it. I was lucky to find love again, a few years later. And he helped me, raise my kids the rest of the way. But we can do it. And it's just like, just taking that time and realizing that we are too important as well. And if we start taking care of ourselves, then we're only going to be better. And you now, you're already a coach, and now you're going to be a counselor, therapist as well. That's amazing. What made you add that on? What made you decide to add it on?
So where I was working at, one of the employees, she passed away in her sleep. So they brought some
Mm.
counselors in, and I'm gonna talk to a counselor. Like, I've never talked to a counselor before. Like, what is this like? So I went in there,
Mhm.
and we had this conversation, and I felt like I was talking to me. I was like, this person sees me, they hear me, they're
Yeah.
listening to me, and
Mhm.
they just, oh my goodness, it just changed. It just really just did something in my heart, and I was like, I want to do that. So I started asking them questions like, okay, so how did you get started, and what made you? I started like interviewing her really,
Mhm.
and then so that really sparked it for me. So then I said, you know what, I'm going to apply, and I applied to several different schools, and then I got a new job. I got promoted, right? So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh my God, so how do I do school and a new job? So I do it online, right? So I
Mhm.
end up so now I attend Walden University. When I get out of work, I give myself a little time, a little break, a little space to breathe. Then I
Yep.
get online. Then I get online and I take my classes, and I don't overwhelm myself. I know what that looks like, so I take a pause, and maybe I'll go and just walk, or I'll go watch a funny movie or something to decompress,
Yeah.
and then I'll
Yeah.
come back and I'll do that. But yeah, somebody just inspired me to do that. It just lit something up in me, and yeah,
Mm.
that's how I got there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually I know a few people that they started out as therapists and then they became coaches. So it's a little bit different hearing you, start
Mhm.
out as a coach and then, want to be a therapist as well. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when do you finish? When will you
20,
complete?
2025.
Okay, that's not that far. It's time, boom, flies
It
in
does.
an instant anyway. Yeah, you'll be,
Yeah.
that's really great. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
excited. Mhm.
Yeah. So what's next after that? What's next for you?
So I have a big audacious goal, and that's to one day
Uh-huh.
open my private counseling practice. And I
Hmm.
want to be able to serve and help others who need counseling, who maybe can't afford it.
Right, right.
I
Oh,
want
that's
to just I
good.
want to I want to help and give back in any way that I can.
Hmm.
And so that's the next big goal for me.
Yeah, yeah. I know one of our somebody in our community, I'm not gonna say her name, but that is like she wants to help adults, but then all the children be free. She's hoping
I
to
like
reach
that.
that status, that she can take
Mm,
care of the children because man, the rates of suicide, the rate of depression is just so drastically high now.
it is.
It's unbelievable. We need
It is.
more people like you, me. We need to be out there serving and helping in the best way that we can. And
I
in a
agree.
way, yeah, and in a way that people can afford. And I think
Right.
that God, women of faith as we are, that we will be able to do both.
It will. It
Hmm.
will.
Yeah. Okay, so right before we take another break again, where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook, Jennifer Reed. I'm on Instagram, Jennifer Reed. Also, or either Transformational Coach J Rose. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as Jennifer Rose. Snapchat, Jennifer Rose.
All right, you got all the social media. Right.
I do. I got to find out what works.
That's right, for sure. All different age groups, different ones, That's at least what
Right.
I'm finding. Yeah.
Me
Okay.
too.
We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back, everyone, to Transformation with Martine. My guest today is Jennifer Rose Reed, and we've been talking about transformation and all that good stuff. Everything that comes with taking time to nurture ourselves and invest in ourselves so that we can have a better life and be able to serve and help others as well. And on a break, we were just talking about our routines and developing good habits. I always start out my day with a walk, even if it's freezing cold outside. If not, if I can't stand the wind, maybe the wind chill's too high, I get on the treadmill, have a little caffeine, listen to powerful motivational things, and journal and all that stuff before I start any type of work. How about you, Jennifer?
My routine is to get up at least about 2 hours early before I
Hmm.
actually have to log on to work. So I'll get
Yeah.
up, I'll pray, and then I'll listen to a spiritual sermon. I'll listen
Hmm.
to a sermon or something to inspire me. And then I'll start doing my Facebook posts. I'll do my video, my phrase of the day, because I want to encourage everybody how to, start your day off. It's how your day
Yes.
flows.
Yeah.
Then I'll go into a book of choice, something, whatever area that I need some knowledge or some skills or improving in.
Mhm.
I make sure I use that. I find a book. So the book I'm in now is Goodbyes and Good Boundaries, because as a former people pleaser, this is the area that I need to work on. I need to work on creating good, healthy boundaries, and
Yeah.
boundaries protect you. So that's the book that I'm listening to. Once I'm done with that, I will take a walk or do an exercise on my lunch break. So I like to step away from the computer. Looking at a computer screen
Mhm.
all day long is
Yep.
draining. So I
Yes,
make
it
sure
is.
I make sure I'm intentional about taking breaks and taking time for myself. I do journaling. I make sure that I'm watching things that are going to feed me. So I'm whatever's on my commitment board. That those are the areas that I work in. I make sure I check. I'll do something in each of those areas every day, because I want to be intentional about my goals and what I do each day, as far as what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, who I'm talking to, and who I'm listening to.
Mhm.
You have to be intentional about, creating that safe space for you, so you can continue to, grow and thrive. So that is really my routine.
It's to me essential. I assume it is for you too. Like your day
Yeah,
doesn't go right if you don't do it.
it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we've got to give to ourselves first. And sometimes it's hard to get started, but once you do, you don't go back. You
You
just
don't.
keep, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I started out with a walking routine and a little bit of caffeine when my kids were really little. It was the only time I had to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that was enough fuel to get me going.
Right.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who maybe a single mom, perhaps someone who is at the end part, like, my youngest is 18. I have a 24-year-old like you do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone who is like ready to do something else, take more time for themselves? They know something's missing, perhaps they're not fulfilled. What would you say to them?
Mm. I would say just take some time for you. Get along with yourself, because a lot of times for me, I didn't know what that looked like. It was like I thought I had to be it with everybody, doing everything all the time. So
Mhm.
when I took myself outside of that, all of that stuff, and I sit alone with myself, I began to journal, I began to read and meditate.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then it was like stuff, ideas and thoughts and things I didn't even know was there, started just coming to me. So really
Mhm.
just take time to fill your cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So you make
Right.
sure you
There's no doubt.
do things to fill your cup. That's very important. Find things to do that you love, right? You want to make
Mhm.
sure that you're pouring into you, so you can have something to give to others, but you got to give from your overflow, not from your cup.
Mhm.
So I would say, whatever area that you are, interested in, like, make an investment in that, right? Whether that's
Mhm.
going on YouTube and watching videos a couple hours a day, or listening to books, like, find that thing that lights you up, and you'll know, because you'll be doing it for
Yeah.
hours, and it won't even seem like hours. So find that thing
Mhm.
that lights you up and go all in on it, and your life is going to change. I'm telling you, I did it.
Yeah. And what if I've had this a lot? Maybe you have more time than I do.
Mm. I would say, okay, so what do you how long do you sit and watch TV? How long are you on your
Yeah.
phone? How long are you on your
Exactly.
phone doing this right here with your thumb?
Uh-huh.
Because I catch myself. I'm like, let me put this phone up. I take my phone, and I just throw it across the room. Like, no,
Yeah.
do your homework. Do your homework. Cut the TV off. Make sure you accomplish your goals, the stuff that you're supposed to
Mhm.
be doing, and then get to that. So it really just look at your time, because a lot of time, if you don't look at your time, you'll wonder where it went, right? You're like, I don't know what I
Yeah.
did all day long, but you just
Yep.
just really write down what it is that you're doing and how long you're doing it, and you'll see that you got some time. Whether it's
Mhm.
commuting in your car, I turn my car into college. I can put on a podcast, or I can listen
Yep.
to a YouTube video. So it's always time. It's just a matter of what's important to you.
Mhm. Mhm. That's just it. It's kind of the same as say you want to release some weight or whatever it is, maybe start writing down what you're eating because sometimes you forget. I am one of those people that'll just like mindlessly grab something and then wonder like, why am I not having success here? Because you're not tracking it or whatever. And you could do the same, because it's almost like, if you have to write down that you've been on social media for 3 hours, you may not want to do that anymore, because that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So you might start thinking a little bit more if you are actually tracking or writing things down. Yeah. So I know you mentioned earlier about getting in touch with that little person inside of you. How did that feel at first for her to be recognized?
Oh, tears just start flowing out I was crying uncontrollably because I never knew how to do that, right? And a coach will take you to a place inside of yourself you can't go by yourself.
Yep.
So she took me there, and I was able to go back to that visual of my little girl crying and upset because my brother and sister had a dad, and it's like, where's my dad? I didn't understand that. So my little girl made it mean I'm not worthy. Nobody loves me. I'm not accepted. So I became an adult seeking love in the arms of men, because I wanted to be loved and not left. I wanted to be chosen.
Yeah.
And that
It's
just,
powerful.
it just literally, my life changed after I had a conversation with my little girl. And she still comes up sometimes, but I let her know that big girl, big woman, she had, like, I have this. I don't let her drive the car. She be in the passenger seat or the back seat, but I can't let her drive.
That's right. Just like there's that as we say, and especially in Sean's community, it's like, we spend time in the self-abuse room at times. Yeah, well, that bee has to be in the back seat too.
Yeah, in the trunk.
Yeah, with the lid closed. Yeah, it's like, if she can't behave, then she's not going to be there. Yeah. So we just have 1 minute left. What would be your final thoughts? Plus, tell us again where everybody can find you and your book again.
Okay. My last thoughts would be, the best investment you'll make is in yourself. It might seem weird or uncomfortable, but I'm telling you, once you do it that one time, you get that transformation. You get that, I can't even explain it. You'll want more and more and more of it.
Yep.
Right. And get around people that are where you want to be. Right. Community is everything.
Yes, it is.
We're all supposed to thrive and grow and elevate, not just stay the same. So nothing changes if nothing changed, and you are the change. My book is The Day I Found Myself. It's available on Amazon. You can go there and pick it up, and you can put my whole name in. It'll come up if you put The Day I Found Myself and it doesn't come up, put in Jennifer Rose Reed and it'll definitely come up. I'm on Facebook, Jennifer Reed. I'm on Instagram, Jennifer Rose. I'm on TikTok, Jennifer Rose. I am on Snapchat, Jennifer Rose. I'm everywhere, and I'm here to serve. And if this touches your heart, just know that you got it in you. You are the change.
Yes.
All you got to do is say yes to you, because you are your own rescue.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the time. Thank you for taking the time to spend time with me and share your wisdom with our audience.
You're welcome.
Right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Transformation with Martine. Real, raw, and vulnerable conversations. Listen or watch live every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As Martine and her guests have deep, meaningful conversations, sharing empowering stories. Step into your passions and lead with your heart. If you are ready to accept and love you for you, visit martineemmons.com and start allowing transformation to happen today.